Harrison Covington, for the fuel filter cup, is it okay to have air in the cup, or would that indicate an air leak in the fuel system? Welcome to the Boaters Podcast, brought to you by the fine folks over at PartsView.com, where you can find all the boater engine parts that you could need for your boat or engine. Check them out and save $10 to $20 using the link and coupon codes in the description below. Talking about a Yamaha, on the fuel filter on the engine, there's a little cup, and there's you can see it go up and down. A lot of times there is a little bit of air in the top of that cup. So mostly, no, there's not a problem with a little bit of air up in there. Could it indicate a problem? Yes, if there's too much air, but on most of them, there is a little air that sits in there. So if you look at 9 out of 10 of them, you can see, fuel coming in and going down into that bowl. And then when the pump turns off, it just kind of, consumes it a little bit. And then when the fuel pump kicks on, you can see, it's moving fuel in and out. So a lot of times there is a little bit of air that gets stuck in that fuel filter bowl. Not a problem. Usually does not indicate an air leak. If you have an issue with your engine and you think that you've got, an issue with the engine where it is a fuel problem, then putting a clear hose on that little bowl right there and checking it to see if you have a bunch of air coming, that's what you should do. But I wouldn't say, no, that's not an indication that you right out the gate have a problem. Most of them have a little bit of air. Just from when you change the filter and put it back on there, there's a little bit of air in there, and sometimes it never goes away. Joey Latanzio, I think that's how you say your name. Hi, I was wondering if there was any good or bad years of the Yamaha 115 to 130 horsepower two-stroke outboards. No. Next question. Sorry, Joey. No. The 115, 132 stroke four-cylinder engines is, one of the most bulletproof engines the Yamaha ever made. Maybe there might have been the first years that I can't think of any issues. I'm sitting here trying to think of any issues with that engine, and I can't think of any. So I'm going to say no, there's not. But first production line of it, maybe there was. I don't 100% know, but for my opinion, by and large, that 115, 130 bulletproof for, I'm pretty sure, most of its life. I mean, that engine is one of the more solid engines the Yamaha ever made. Stang 1966 GT. I have corrosion on the skeg. What is the best way to address this before painting? So if you're just painting your skeg and you have a little bit of corrosion, you need to sand it down and then, treat it. So sanding it down and then getting something like a goof off, a red lime, muriatic acid, something that is going to eat, that corrosion off of there and get you down to the bare metal to where, you don't have any more corrosion on there. Usually sanding it off is going to be the best way. And then once you sand it, then you can use, muriatic acid, goof off rust remover, CLR, lime away, depending on how bad it is. Most of those chemicals are going to get all of that off. And if there is an issue, red lime, you could just take a bucket of red lime and stick it up in there in the solution and let it sit, over 4 hours, whatever it may be, for a period of time. Just take that bucket, stick it up on the skeg. It'll eat all that corrosion off after you've sanded it, like sand it. That way you can get all the big stuff off and anything else. You can get all that stuff off, stick that solution up on there, let it sit for a few hours. It should eat pretty much all the corrosion out of there, and then give it an acetone bath to clean everything off, contact cleaner, whatever. And then you'll be able to paint it. And I would paint it with a zinc chromate, and then do your primer, do your paint, do your clear coat. So if you like this clip, you can watch the full podcast over here, or you can watch another clip over here.